Alright, another response video to Crossesborg. It's a good subject. I mean, they're going to keep pushing it. Might as well keep talking about it. Animal rights, yeah, fight for it. Good enough. I'll keep talking. He really didn't say anything. He makes like a 10-minute video. He didn't say shit in the video. Douchebag 73 times. That's hardly useful. We're not talking about when man first starts sniffing douchebag. But anyway. It's just such a joke. So now he's saying 252.5 million years ago we were eating meat. And the proof is the guy told me so. I mean, you know, well, why don't we just accept the Bible story then? I mean, if you're going to accept stories about what people were doing 2.5 million years ago and say one has an authority, why? Why is it an authority? What is it based on? By his own speculation. And I can speculate alternatively just as easily. There's lots to speculate about. Okay, because the evidence doesn't demonstrate any of the bullshit you're talking about. We see the evidence. Okay, look at the goddamn primates that exist. They got hardware that's 10 times more capable than us, and they're not eating meat. Alright? They have the hardware to do it, and they're not even doing it. We didn't even have the hardware. 2.5 million years ago, we didn't have the hardware. And so we're eating meat 2.5 million years ago. We don't have fire, but we're eating meat. Alright, what the fuck are we exactly eating? And why don't you explain that one? Besides bugs and slugs, what the fuck are we eating? What animal are we consuming? Are we ripping the hide off of with our teeth and chewing the raw flesh of? Explain that one, please. Because I think we only had controllable fire maybe 300,000 years ago. So, that sounds like bullshit to me. You know, 2.5 million years ago. And then what percentage would it be anyway? What are we talking? 3%, 2%, 1%? What percentage of the diet of these animals that you're speculating were meat eaters, what percentage of their diet was meat? Come on, you can come up with some kind of number, can't you? And not bugs. Eliminate the bugs, you know. Because if you eliminate bugs from chimpanzees, you're talking 0.001%. And if you... you know, gorillas, baboons, orangutans. Why don't you tell me what the percentage of these animals eating meat is? Raw fucking meat. It's a stupid argument, alright? You want to keep perpetuating it? Great. So this is my explanation of the connection between intelligence and how it developed in human beings. And you know, because we can all speculate, okay? And it wasn't about hunting. It was about killing. Okay, that's what it was about. We acquired intelligence synonymous with the ability to get rid of the competition. You know, like sea lions will kill fucking goddamn penguins. All right, not because for food, they just kill them because they don't. they figured out that penguins are the enemy. Whether they figured it out natively or on their own, they know that they're just stealing their food. So fuck them. Because they don't like the taste of the little bastards. But anyway, whatever. Regardless, as long as I get an argument about that. But the point is that, you know, I think, because we don't have any evidence to prove anything, but I think it's just as reasonable to speculate that what we were using our first little spears for and our little arrows was against each other and against those other competing human beings, or semi-humans. And that's what the game was about. And you know, we can argue about it, but I don't think there's any point, because I don't think there was any effective way for us to hunting to be. It would be so impractical. The amount of protein our ancestors would have gotten from a long hunt, and the amount they would have been able to store for the amount of energy they would have invested in it, and then, you know, not to even mention the diseases and all the other crap they would get from eating that diet. There's no practical way that was the successful strategy. But stabbing your goddamn neighbor who's eating your goddamn food, that's a successful strategy. So I think an argument can be articulated that when these guys speculated about what we're doing 2.5 million years ago, there's people who can make up a better story. Because I think their made-up story is bullshit. But anyway, moving on. I don't think there's that much to move on to, so then I can move on to whatever fuck it is, underwear, dying love or something. So anyway, yeah, you just keep arguing that I'm against science and the steps of science and all this. But what's the step? Like I said, what are they basing it on? What is their speculation on 2.5 million years ago based on? It's a bone fragment. That's what their speculation is based on. It's not based on shit. You know. So you're not making a persuasive argument, in my opinion. You know, telling me that I have to accept your authorities. And telling everybody else they're wrong, your authorities are right. Fuck that shit. Yeah, and you're saying you're not pushing anything. Well, you are pushing something. You're saying that's wrong, you're saying that's wrong, you're saying my authorities are right. Whatever they write in the magic book is the story, okay? Because the paleontologist wrote it. The guy just making shit up. Fuck. Alright, so I don't know if there's much else. Okay, and then in the ethical argument, you sound basically like you're saying, I don't own slaves, but I support people's right to own slaves. I mean, what's the fucking point? You either have respect for animals or you don't. If you have respect for them, if you believe they have a sentience and a consciousness that deserves some fucking respect, then you either defend it or you don't. Alright? If you're going to just sit there and say, well, it's your freedom of choice, well, then that's just the same thing as saying, yeah, I don't personally choose to own slaves, but I'm not going to do a damn thing to defend the rights of the human beings who are slaves. So fuck you. You're useless to the argument. Useless to civilization. And for the gun nut thing, look, you've demonstrated you're not a gunifarian or something, okay? You sit there and had your little whatever model AK-47 look-alike or whatever the fuck it was, and explain to us all how we can hide it from the evil government, so that at some date when we choose, when we all individually decide to rebel, we can go fuck with our government. We can blow up some buildings even. You know, maybe with some with goddamn kids in them like Timothy McVeigh. Maybe we can all just do that whenever we fucking feel like it. We'll all just declare war against the government with our little fucking guns. Fuck you. Alright, so enough of that. And then the stupid undenying eternally shit keeps making videos, and so good. I'm glad I'm keeping her busy. And just explain the molecules and all this other bullshit, and how this isn't that, and this isn't caramelization, that isn't that. Well, why don't you do the one on fat next, okay? I'd like to hear the fat series, because then you can explain how fat doesn't sweeten food when you cook it, and how fat doesn't caramelize when you reduce it. You know, that some fats do in fact do that, and that's what makes food all tasty and everything. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then you can explain how our cells metabolize fat, and how our cells metabolize pieces of beef protein. Okay, and explain that to the audience next. You know, fuck you. You know, really, just but whatever. Keep making your videos, keep working at it. So anyway, it's just a stupid argument. The great thing is we're seeing the desperation. I mean, obviously, people just can't accept what they are. They just can't accept that they're trapped in this human condition where they have this consumptive need based on conditioning that they're conditioned into, and that life it becomes addiction. And they just won't accept that they're basically heroin addicts now, and that this is sort of important stuff, and that when we create human beings, new human beings, we should try to maybe make them better human beings, that we shouldn't impose on them our same liabilities and vices and psychological deviance. But no, these people won't step past that, because they must have self-respect. They must have pride in themselves and think they're doing something purposeful. No, you're just a fucking goddamn mouth and an asshole. Period. You're just another maggot on Earth, because you don't want to use your goddamn brain. The only thing you're using it for is to build yourself a little gold star so you can pin it on your little chest and say you're a wonderful creation. No, you're a piece of shit. So, anyway, enough of the argument. It's really fun. I love making videos now. It's getting better, and I don't have to listen to you assholes. It really is getting better. I like this one-way communication.